I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 darts or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But given that this is the Nerf In-Strike Maverick Rev 6, the most powerful toy gun in the world, and would blow that smirk on your face clean off, you got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Hey! I gots to know. Son of a bitch. Hey, champ. There's something your mother and I have to tell you, and it may be a bit upsetting for you, but you're a big boy now. We know you can handle it. You might be wondering where your brother is, why he wasn't up in the top bunk when you got up this morning. Well, the reason is, during the night, Tommy was taken away by aliens. He's in their spaceship now, and to be honest, I don't know if he's ever coming back. They told us the reason they had to take him was because he's been such a bad boy, not minding your mother and me, not doing his chores, getting into all sorts of trouble. And the aliens, they've been watching this family for a long time, and they just couldn't take anymore. They had to step in and take Tommy up to their spaceship, where they're going to try to turn him into a good little boy. And this is the part they wanted me to be really clear about with you. Tommy wasn't the only one they had their eyes on. So, be a good boy, okay, son? I'd hate to lose both of you. All right, now, go brush your teeth and get ready for school. Don't want to miss the bus again. Oh, Qui-Gon! Oh, Shmi! Oh, Qui-Gon! Oh, Shmi! I grew up not far from here. Right over there, in fact. That 2-square-foot patch of ground. My parents never liked me to move very much. I was a pretty uncoordinated child. One time I tried to walk a few steps in that direction. Fell over, lacerated my cornea. That's in the eye, you know. When I was 8 years old, my dad told me it was time for me to learn how to hunt the giant mastodons that served as our chief source of food. They're all gone now, of course, hunted to extinction by generations of school children. I remember the first time I took one down with a perfectly aimed wad of gum. It got stuck in the magnificent creature's fur and he went crazy trying to get it out. We laughed, then we cut him up and ate him. A couple of years later, I began to get interested in girls, like this one here. Excuse me, ma'am. Ain't she a beaut? Dad told me there'd come a time when I'd grow up and start to get a funny feeling deep in my gut whenever I looked at a pretty girl like that one. I didn't believe him, of course, but then the time came when I did grow up and did get a funny feeling in my gut. And this time it wasn't a bleeding ulcer. No, it was love. Young love. Puppy love. But not like Uncle Jim's love for an actual puppy. No, my love was for Fern, a tiny girl with strong branches and beautiful green leaves. Her trunk was sturdy, her bark was firm, her sap was sweet. Well, listen to me going on about Fern's sap. We dated all through high school. Fern was smaller than a lot of the other girls, but that made her more portable. So we often went on long drives in Dad's pickup. Her in a big clay pot in the back, and me taking lingering glances out the back window every so often to make sure the bungee cords were holding. Her favorite place to go was Big Lake, which was actually kind of small, no larger than a shot glass. We'd go and watch the motorboats pull the water skiers along dry land, because the lake was so small, but folks had made that long trip out there, they weren't going home without skiing on something. So they'd churn through the tall grasses at speeds of up to motionless. And the strange, funny, man-looking creatures without the bulge below, but with two up top, would wave their arms and pretend they were being tugged through water instead of across hardpan. What fun we had. I guess it was fun. We were young and in love anyhow. On a moonlit summer night, Fern and I declared our undying love for one another. Then I climbed into her branches and made love to her by rubbing the backs of my shins against her trunk like Dad had taught me. I bled for days, but it was worth every ounce of Bactine. How does a story end? How do these stories ever end? We grew up, we got married, we got divorced. She's up in Malibu now, living with some movie star. I hear he's got a whole grove of girls up there, lined up like bowling pins. Some guys have all the luck, don't they? But it's okay. I've remarried and re-divorced. 2 kids, both in college, both triads. It's been a good life. But I still do think of Fern from time to time. And whenever I do, I also think of those mastodons. What's the connection between them, I wonder? Between Fern and those mastodons that used to roam this prairie until we slaughtered them by the thousands. Maybe it's that we always kill the thing we need the most. Or maybe it's that Dad wasn't telling the truth about Fern and all the other wooden things with leaves like her being girls. Maybe Fern wasn't a girl. Those mastodons were.